So hello and welcome to another video. So today's mission is we're going to change the clock spring on this Freelander Mark 1. The horn isn't working. I've tested the relays, the fuse, there's nothing the matter with them. I've opened the door, I've pressed the key and the horn sounds, so I'm thinking it is the clock spring that's knackered on it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the battery. You're going to take the airbag off. Don't have the battery connected when you're dealing with the airbag, so we'll get that off straight away. So make sure you push that to one side so it doesn't reconnect. So what we're going to do is, now some people might tell you go straight ahead and work with things, but you can have residual voltage sitting at the back of there and the airbag's explosive, so it's probably best that if you leave it for about 30 minutes, just give it time for that residual voltage to dissipate, and there's no voltage behind there before you disconnect the airbag or play with the airbag in any way. So we're going to give it 30 minutes and we'll come back and then we'll take everything apart. Okay, we're back in the car. I'm trying to keep this just so you can see it. So next thing is we're going to take the two screws out of this bottom cowling. They're just Phillips, so Phillips screw in there, Phillips screw in there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to get a T30 Torx, and there's two T30 Torx. The first one is in there, and you're going to use a T30 Torx. You're going to take that out. Now there's another one, I'm not going to go over and show you because it's in the same position on the other side over here. So you take them out, two T30 Torx, two Phillips, take them out there, because you've got to separate, there's clips in here, you've got to separate this once those screws are out, and you need the T30 Torx out to take the airbag out, and I'll show you that in a second. Okay, we've got the Torx out and we've got the Phillips out. So what you want to do is just put your fingers at the back here like this and lift it up like that, and you can get it at the front, and then you can take the airbag out. Just be careful with it, the thing's explosive. Right, have a look, we'll try and get you in the back here. Right, you see that? Oh god, right. So that's just a push fit, that connector there. So you just want to pull it out. I can't do it and record at the same time, I'm afraid. And put the airbag to one side once you take that out. And then I'll show you how to take the steering wheel off. With the airbag out of the way, next thing we're going to do is green connector, push the tab, pull that connector out like that, stick it up there, and the next thing we're going to do is we've got a 19mm nut there. What you really want to do is, you see the indent there at the top, you want to get a Sharpie or something. Give me a second, that motorbike's just passing. You want to get a Sharpie, you want to mark here across the bolt and just go right onto this position here, put a straight line across it. That way when you're tightening it back up, it's going back in the same place, you're going to have enough torque in it. I'm going to use my impact. You're probably going to need, I'm not sure of the torque specs on this, but there's a fair bit of torque in it, it's got to hold the thing on. Probably a breaker bar, something like that, with an extension on it, bring it out here, crack it open. So I'll take it off with that and I'll get back to you in a second. Okay, so I've slackened this nut off. You'll notice I've got a a couple of witness marks on it. I'll turn this around. You know, before I slackened that off, I made sure that these lines all lined up. So what you want to do is, you want to slacken it, but you don't want to take it off altogether. And to get the steering wheel off, you're going to put one hand here, the other one over there, and you're going to wiggle it, you know, from side to side. The reason you're leaving the nut on is because it takes a bit of force to take it off, and you'll end up smacking yourself in the head with the steering wheel if you pull it too hard. So leave the nut on just a bit, you know, it's nice and loose, but when this releases itself, you're not going to whack yourself in the face. So basically, I've taken this off and put it back on for demonstration purposes. So once you've got the steering wheel loose, you've wiggled it loose, what you're going to do is you're going to take the nut off altogether. So this is loose, this is going to, you know, this will come off. Once the steering wheel comes off, you're going to pass this cable back through that aperture there, and then we'll get down to the clock. We've already taken the bottom screws off for the cowling, you know, for the bottom, so that will separate once I get the steering wheel off. Okay, now we've got the steering wheel off, we can see the squib clockwork spring, call it what you will, in front of you. I think this one is definitely knackered, you know, there's no resistance on this. So we're just going to separate it. These two panels are simply clipped together, and if we just give them a little squeeze apart, you know, the top section will come off. Stick it up there. The reason why we take the two screws off the bottom is because there's two screws here, and if we never released it, you know, we'd be having trouble getting into these Phillips screws here. So we just take the two screws off. This doesn't need to come off, it just needs to sit like that. Now, there you are, you've got access to 1, 2, 3, 4 Phillips screws. Take the Phillips screws out, and this will just lift straight out. And we will get back to you once we've got that done, because I can't do it with one hand. Okay, so this is unscrewed. You've got a couple of connectors on the back. You're going to remove these, and then that'll be the old squib out the way. This is a new one, £20 eBay special, guaranteed not to be made by Land Rover. We'll see how long it lasts. They seem to be selling a lot of them, so, you know, made in Chinesium. We'll see how it goes. So a couple of connectors out there, and then plug this one in. Once you've got it plugged in, you're going to screw it in. You'll notice this blue tab here. I'll show you what that's for in a minute, and once that's screwed back in, we'll get back to you. Okay, so that's the new one on. It's screwed in. What you've got to do is screw it in, and then you've got a blue tab. It stops things from moving. Get a pull. It'll break off there. Bring this up to the top here, and then it's the reverse of what I've just showed you. I'm not gonna bore you with, you know, putting things back together again. And hopefully, once I get the battery and that back on, we'll press the horn and it'll work. But we'll see at the end. Okay, I'll get back to you in a minute. Okay, so everything's back together, as you can see. It's just a reverse process. You're taking it apart, reconnect the battery. We've obviously started the engine, fired it up, and that's that, job done. Okay, that's how we do it. It's really not that hard. I hope this video helps. If you've found it useful, please like it, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, bye bye.